Alright, in this video, we're going to be going over the updates for the 2021 AP Calculus exams. We're going to look at what's new this year, what's different from the 2020 exam, and the best way for you to prepare. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so how are exams going to work this year? Well, they're going to be full length. If you remember, last year we had shortened exams that were, for emergencies, but this time they've had a whole year to prepare, and they're confident in giving us full-length exams this year, okay? Now, because the pandemic is still going strong, there are going to be options to take the exam both in person and at home, okay? However, the school is going to be who's choosing the testing date. So you don't get to personally decide whether you want to take the exam in person or at home. The school is going to be making that decision for you, okay? Let's look at the dates. Now, for A, B, and BC, they give you they give the test at the same time to prevent people from taking both tests. Okay? Now, there are 3 administrations of the exam. The first one is going to be at Tuesday, May 4th at 8 a.m. local time. Okay? So this is just like normal exams pre-pandemic, where they're going to start at the same local time. So the international people, they don't have to worry about getting up at like 2 a.m. to take a test. Okay? So the first exam is at Tuesday, May 4th, 8 a.m. local time. You're going to take it in school, and it's a paper exam, okay? So this is going to be just like a normal year. You're going to show up, take an exam in person in your school, okay? The second administration is a couple weeks later. It's in late May. It's Monday, May 24th, and it's going to be 8 a.m. local time again. And just like the first examination, it's going to be in school and paper, okay? So it's the same format for Administration 1 and Administration 2. The only difference is the date. Alright, the third administration is a little bit different. This examination is given on Wednesday, June 9th, so it's the latest of the 3. And it's going to be giving at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, okay? This is going to be, you have to turn this into your own time zone. So you have to transfer, 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to whatever your time zone is. So if you're an international student, this is going to be the one where you'll have to probably take the exam at the middle of the night. So that's going to be not fun, but hopefully, hopefully everything goes well. Okay, this is going to be there's actually 2 options available for this. It can be either an in-person exam, or it's going to be a exam at home. Okay, however, it is going to be a digital exam as opposed to the first 2, which are paper. So you can either be in your school taking this on a laptop or a computer, or you can be at home taking it on a laptop or a computer. Either way, it's going to be a digital exam, but the location may vary. Okay, so these are the 3 administrations for AP Calculus, and let me just say it again, it's the same for AB and BC. Okay, it's the same times. Okay, so now let's talk about how paper exams are going to work. There's going to be 2 sections, free response and multiple choice. So the first section is the multiple choice. There's 45 questions for you to answer in 105 minutes. They're going to be split between the non-calculator section and the calculator section, okay? So the non-calculator section has 30 questions for you to answer in 60 minutes. And then you move on to the calculator section, which has 15 questions for you to answer in 45 minutes, okay? So notice you get more time for the calculator questions. Now, the second section is the free response section, and you have 6 free response questions to answer in 90 minutes. And again, like the previous exam, or the previous section, it's going to be split between the calculator section and the non-calculator section. The calculator section is 2 questions in 30 minutes, and the non-calculator section is going to be 4 questions in 60 minutes. And there's going to be 6 FRQs, and at least 2 of them will involve a real-world scenario, okay? That's how paper exams are going to work this year. Digital exams, we're going to have to go a bit more details, okay? So, just like the paper exam, it's going to be 2 sections, multiple choice, free response. There's the same amounts, 45 questions in 105 minutes, 6 questions in 90 minutes, real-world scenario. However, you've noticed that I've removed the parts of the explanation that involve non-calculator and calculator, because on the digital exams, you're going to be allowed to use your calculator for the entire test, okay? All the multiple choice and all the free response questions, you can use your calculator for all of it, okay? the FRQs are going to be adapted since there's not going to be any handwritten work. If you remember from last year, they allowed us to write our tests on a sheet of paper, take a photo, and upload it onto the AP website. However, this year, there isn't going to be that option. Everything's going to be typed on your device, so the FRQs have been adapted to be easily typable. So you're not going to need to do any graphs, you're not going to need to create any complex expressions, okay? So for example, you won't need to, you won't need to draw a slope field or anything like that. That's not going to be on this digital exam, okay? You might need to analyze the slope field, but you're not going to need to draw one. You're not going to need to draw any graphs. For security, there have been some extra measures taken for digital exams. They will not allow students to go back to previous questions. This is huge, okay? Normally, you can flip back and forth between your multiple choice questions and your free response questions as you see fit. You're actually recommended to do so by every test taker website ever. Everyone tells you always, go back and double check your work. But for security reasons and to prevent like collaboration and stuff, they're not going to allow you to go back to your previous questions. So once you answer a multiple choice or a free response and you click on next, you're done. You can't come back. You've submitted that question. It's finished. So if you're halfway through the test and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I think I got that first one wrong. Well, you're out of luck. Okay? And they will also be checked with plagiarism software. I think this is not really relevant to this class, but it's there, so I put it on this PowerPoint anyways. Okay? There's some testing requirements. So you'll need to take this exam on a laptop, a desktop, or a school-managed Chromebook. Okay? If you remember last year, you were allowed to take your exam on pretty much any device, but this time you cannot take it on a cell phone or a tablet or anything like that. It has to be on a laptop, a desktop, or a school-managed Chromebook. Notice I've emphasized school-managed. Personal Chromebooks are not going to work. Now, I'm really not tech savvy enough to know why this is true. I'm not sure if there's like a security or like a testing problem, whatever. I have no clue about that kind of stuff. If you know, please let me know because I'm curious. But all I know is that it has to be a school managed Chromebook. Your laptop or desktop, however, those can be personal. You're going to need, of course, an access to a power source. I recommend that if you're using like a laptop, I recommend that you keep it plugged in 24/7. I'm not 24/7, but like keep it plugged in for the duration of your exam, even if it's full battery, just to be safe. Better safe than sorry. You're, of course, going to need a reliable internet connection. They did specify on the AP website that they are making the testing software such that it will be lenient if your connection isn't the best, but it's best, again, better to be safe than sorry. Try to make sure you're as close to the router as possible, right? Make sure you have the strongest connection. And you're going to need to install application software this year. As opposed to last year, where it was simply a website, you're going to need to install a special software. However, this is not the same as the lockdown browser that you use for certain AP classroom assignments. This is going to be a different software that they're going to unveil in April. Okay? Before you do any digital testing, you're going to need to install that testing application on your device. You're also going to need to complete a pre-exam setup. They'll make this available to you 3 days before the exam, and you want to complete it before your exam. So not on the exam day, but before that day. You're going to have to check in 30 minutes before the exam. And I'd recommend that you play around with the exam application. They'll release this in April. You can take the time to play around with it and practice answering the multiple choice and the free response questions to get used to the software and kind of plan your attack, right? How are you going to conquer this exam? Okay, and now I'm going to talk a little bit about the best ways to prepare for these exams. And this is for both digital and paper pencil. Okay, now Culture Wars tried their best to make these exams as close to normal exams as possible. So the best way to practice is to do as many normal practice questions as possible. Okay, on this channel I do a bunch of released FRQs. I'd go and check those out for a bunch of FRQ practice. Okay, I'd also recommend you start reviewing your units as early as possible because there's a lot of content and you want to make sure everything is down in your head. Okay, and the final tip: please don't panic. It's a bad habit for a lot of us, I'm sure, but try your best not to panic because it's really not going to help you in the long run, right? Just stay focused both during the exam and while you're preparing. Just try to, I don't know, it's easy to say, it's hard to do, but just try to take deep breaths and stay calm. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it, okay? AP is doing their best to keep this under control, and we'll hope that everything goes smoothly and a lot better than last year, because as we all know, last year was a bit of a train wreck. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you found this helpful, and I guess for the algorithm, I'm supposed to say like and subscribe or something like that. I don't really like saying that, but I guess I have to start saying it now, right? So I guess like and subscribe or whatever. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.